Look, up in the sky, it's podcast man.
Podcast man. I like it. Welcome to the Tech School Podcast powered by DSDT. I am Josh, and we are with the podcast man, who also goes by the name of.
What's going on today, Josh?
What's going on, brother? What's going on? What do you have on right now? What are we playing with?
All right, so because we are about to close out this year, I thought it would be a great conversation piece for us to kind of mention some of these tools, these gadgets, that a lot of us are about to adorn this holiday season. Yes. And so I kind of brought in today my Oculus Quest 2 and probably my most favorite of all time. So just want to say that this was definitely on my list of things that I wanted. And I'm literally like a kid in the candy store. So
what can you actually do with it?
Now, see, I want to kind of wait for us later in the show because we're going to be going over the top technologies that we think, we should kind of learn or should get some interest in the year 2022 as we are in fact about to close this out. So yes. if you can just hold, please just hold for a few conversations, and I promise you, I will not disappoint. I will not.
That journalist in me loves to just get to the point.
Right. But not right now. Not right now. Okay. I know you're wondering why I look like Cyborg.
Yeah.
I know, right? But I promise you, in due time, I got you.
All right. Okay. So what else is going on at DSDT as we're getting ready to wrap up for the holidays going into 2022?
Probably one of the best things I think today we're going to talk about by far is I would love to have one of our original co-hosts to come back on with us. And she is the co-founder of DSDT, Miss Lisa Glickoff. We kind of want to catch up with Lisa, find out some things that she's been doing since she was last with us. And, I think she'll sit with us throughout the show so we can have some conversations about those topics concerning DSDT. So what do you think? Maybe we should bring her on now? Should we wait a little bit?
No, let's bring Lisa in. You know me, I love to get right into it. Lisa! How's it going, my good friend?
It's going great, my good friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. So yes, as Carlos alluded to, we're bringing you back on. We're happy to have you back. What have you been up to?
Well, let's see. I could show you out my window. Would you like to see an alligator? Maybe you'd like to see some sort of weird bird that I can't recognize, a palm tree. You name it, we have it here in sunny Florida. So I moved to Florida.
Warmer climate.
Warmer climate, exactly. And I love it. It's amazing.
We're in Florida, exactly.
So I'm in Port St. Lucie, which is not my first choice, but when you have older parents, they want to move to the city that is the least exciting. And that's fine. But I will tell you that we're surrounded by Jensen Beach and Stewart and Fort Pierce. And those cities are fabulous in their own right. We're just an hour and a half north of Miami. So we have it going on here.
All right. Stay away from the alligators, though.
Yeah, I will. So let me ask you real quick. Hey, listen, I wanted to ask you, Josh, I like your beard. Who told you to grow that?
A special friend. I was talking to her one day, and she looked at me and she said, "You may want to hold on to that." I think her name starts with an L.
Yeah, she sounds pretty savvy. Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa. It was you, Lisa. That's right.
Yeah, it was. Well, it looks good. I told you it's a good look for you.
You told me, you looked me right in the eye. You said, Josh, you may want to hold on to that.
I did, and it looks great.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Welcome, my
Okay.
friend.
Hey, so on the business end, what else have you been doing? You're always a busy lady. You're doing different things. What's going on?
Well, everybody knows that, originally, prior to DSDT, astute artistry was my heart, and it was all about makeup for me. And, not that I don't love technology. And of course, that's, it's never going to go away, and you have to love it, no matter what. But my passion, my love is makeup. So over the course of the past couple of years, I built my own makeup line, and I'm excited to tell all of you that I can now officially announce that I am a very large vendor for Shop LC, which is an online site. I just got the order placed. It's pretty impressive. I also just launched in Starcrest, which is in California, and they have about 13 different catalogs. So I'm going to be at about 3 of those. And are you ready for the big one? I just got the email yesterday. Ding, 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 ding. Walmart's Canada wants my brand. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So I have a meeting with them on January 10th, and it's a platform meeting through one of the ECRM networks, which is like a place where you go to get in big box stores. And they've already said that they want it. They're paying for my fee to actually have the meeting, because there's always a fee. That's how bad they want it. And I'm super excited. And if all goes well, I'll be in Walmart Canada soon.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Where can people go online to buy your products? You may have said, but mention it again.
Yeah, they can go to makeupologystore.com. They can also visit like all of my Facebook, Instagram. It's all Makeupology Store. And now they can visit shoplc.com, and I'll be in some catalogs as well. So
beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Carlos, there we go, right there. You read my mind.
Yeah, so Lisa, perfect.
Explain the website to us a little bit more, Lisa.
Sure. So makeup, brow, skinology. Everybody knows that ology is the study of. So pretty much I've been studying cosmetics and skincare since I was so big, maybe let's say 13, 14 years old. And so you'll see on the website, all of my accolades. So you're going to see what I've done in the past, who I've worked on, Josh, hence celebrities, local celebrities, national celebrities. I've even done the Oscars. But the thing that I'm most excited about is that my products are sourced from the USA. So they're vegan, paraben free, made in the USA. The packaging is sourced from the USA, and the actual product itself is sourced from the USA. So are the boxes. So I never have to worry about customs. I don't have to worry about the boat not getting here. I never have to worry about that because I source only from the US, and I feel I'm proud of that,
Beautiful, beautiful. Don't you just love how you can just buy everything online now?
Yeah, like you can buy everything online.
Like just everything. Like, I mean, I'm just looking at all the options you have on your website. Very impressive.
I have every option. That's how the world is going. Like I'm worried, I like to still go shopping at actual stores. I think the only stores that are going to hold on is Target, ironically, and like your Myers and Walmarts. The rest of them, like malls, and I just don't know what the future holds for them. I really don't.
It is questionable. I mean, I love when I buy a suit. First and foremost, I like to go into the store and try on the jacket, the pants, see how it fits, how it can be tailored, etc. But I mean, it's just like you find better options online. It's like that rock in a hard place. Like you find the better stuff, the better deals online, but then Lisa, as you alluded to, nothing beats walking inside of a store, touching it, trying it on, and then finding out right then and there if it works for you.
Yeah, I mean, but I hate to say it, but Amazon made it so easy for a person to purchase something, and if they don't like it, they can literally go to the UPS store and they can have it scanned in and send it right back. So I think that part is it's become too easy for us. I think our world is going, to a different, I don't know, the way that we shop, the way that we eat, the way that we dress, all of that. I don't know. I mean, it's very casual. Have you seen? COVID has stopped everybody from dressing up now. Like there are even major designers, they're not even coming out with those elegant gowns or suits anymore. They're not. It's more casual. Everything is casual. Life is casual. I'm not saying that I don't like that. I'm just saying I miss those other times where it was black tie and, all these great events.
I was having that same conversation with a few friends yesterday about the way COVID has just brought down the attire the attire expectations, if you will. More people are just wearing sweats, this and then the third. Okay, Burberry, for example. I'm a huge Burberry fan. Burberry over the years has been known to be classic, but now they just have a lot of streetwear with a lot of BT just written all over it. And it's like, that's not what most of us are accustomed to when we wear Burberry or any other high-end fashion. It's more streetwear, more casual. And you wonder, like, okay, you're going to pay X amount of dollars for some gym shoes, or you can just go to Foot Locker and buy the same pair for like $400 less.
I mean, didn't you guys are aware of New York or Paris Fashion Week, right? Like Paris Fashion Week or New York Fashion Week was in Paris. And like all of those events, they were held literally outside. Like it was in the grass. It was like an outside wedding. There was nothing spectacular about it. And the clothes were very, they were edgy and they were a little bit out there, but they weren't necessarily, dressy per se. So, I mean, even our fashion shows have gone, they're outside, and I don't know if that's just because of COVID or because that's the new way. I mean, it's just, everything is just, I don't know, it's bizarre to me, really.
Very interesting. Does the site offer color match technology? Question from Sierra.
Well, yeah, from me, which means that Sierra needs to email me and then I walk her through everything. And Josh, I mean, you and I have been friends for about 7-8 years. One thing I know is I know skincare, I know makeup, I know brows. So, I have no problem with somebody going onto my website and say, listen, I need help. I don't know what to pick, what to do. And it's as simple as me either giving them an online session, because I don't have to be, person to person to help them. I've done, anchors in actually reporters like for years on Skype or FaceTime or whatever. And then I need a picture of her and then I'll help her color match. I'll help her pick out her colors. And then even if she wants to take it the next step further, I'll teach her how to use them,
Okay, so guys, we definitely want to bring on our next guest at this moment. And actually, Lisa, we want to hold you with us for quite some time, if you will, since you're such an expert of so many topics, right? So right about now, we want to bring in our instructor, and it's pretty important that he would be with us today, Josh, for the simple fact that he was the first guest that we had here on the Tech School podcast. So why don't we say welcome to Mr. Cody Barnhart.
Welcome.
Hello. Hello.
How's it going? Going well. Good. How are you?
Great. It's a wonderful day.
Definitely a wonderful day. So we
Cody,
have some.
What the heck is that behind you?
Oh, my background's moving a little bit.
Looks like a drone.
I thought that was an eagle.
Yeah, no, I got some weird ears going.
Okay, so Carlos, it's my understanding we're going to be talking about drone technology quite a bit today.
Yeah. With Cody, right?
With Cody.
Cody actually handles drone technology, 3D printing at DSDT. And when I had the conversation with him earlier, he was explaining that there's been some great developments since we last spoke to him. I mean, think about it. Cody was with us in literally episode 1 of season 1. This is season 2, episode 9, right? So I'm sure there might have been some changes within the drone technology industry. And I'm sure that Cody would be able to explain what they are, as well as some of the advancements in the 3D printing. Cody, can you enlighten us as to what they might be?
Well, some of the things I wanted to talk about today are basically the advancements of drone technology, as well as the use of 3D technology when it comes to the drone space. Some of the new things that are coming about with all the wildfires that have been going on in California. They've been using drones to make maps and models to predict instances or outcomes that what would happen if a fire were to come into contact or come into your area or your environment. So we teach this at the school using a software called Drone Deploy, and we use drones to actually map out an area or a location, and then we're able to get very accurate measurements of locations, buildings, construction sites. And now they're using it in California to help people protect their homes or harden their homes against wildfires. So I think it's a really great use of the drone world as well as the 3D printing or 3D modeling world.
How closely can these drones get to a wildfire to actually give residents who live in those areas an exact distance as far as how far the fire may be from their residence? And what do they need to do going forward?
So what they're using this technology for is it's kind of a before the fire event. So they will go over certain neighborhoods, get an accurate 3D model of these neighborhoods, and then maybe reduce the amount of trees within a certain distance of that neighborhood or that house to help prevent, fires from spreading to that neighborhood. They were in an article I was reading, the gentleman had done hardening of, then that's what they call it in California, hardening of his home, removing brush, debris, trees, any vegetation. And the last wildfire came up to his driveway, and he wanted to do what he could to make sure that his house did not catch fire. Billions of dollars in damage.
So when you say that the drone hardened or assisted in hardening the home, what does that mean?
Well, with the technology that are going into these cameras now, they're able to get extremely accurate measurements of locations. So, maybe you go to a community and the community hires this this contractor to come out and give an assessment of how ready a community is for a wildfire. They'll come out, do a 3D map using drones of the entire community, and then show these trees are really too close to your home. They are able to see, maybe you have a fire break that was made 10 years ago and it's not ready anymore. It's not good enough anymore. So they're using these drones to help people prepare more for the future. It's pretty amazing technology.
Okay.
The use. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You had broke up for a moment, so I didn't catch everything. Here's a question I have. You alluded to that there are courses at DSDT that's teaching this kind of technology. Elaborate on that a little bit more.
We have a drone technology course at DSDT where we spend the first 2 weeks of the course going through and ensuring students receive their certifications through the FAA. But the third week, we're going in and using these drones to create accurate 3D models of locations. For example, there's a building and a lot really close to the school, and we always fly over this lot because it has a large mound of dirt. Using this technology, we're able to create a model, and it's called a photogrammetric model, to accurately tell how much volume, how much dirt is in this huge pile, and maybe you want to get an estimate of how much it would cost to remove all of this material. You can do that using this technology. So it's pretty neat to see what you can do. Contractors are using it because bidding on a job, maybe to replace a new, a parking lot, you can go fly over it, get an accurate area measurement, so you know how much it would cost you, and you can see what your return would be if you were to bid for this job. So it's being used in all sectors of the industry.
So Cody, I want maybe if you could elaborate. I think what's important is, Josh, Karlos, myself, we can all go to the store and we can buy a drone. We can read the instructions, we can learn how to fly it, right? So I think that it's important for you to stress the importance of what an FAA certification is and the style of drone that you need to fly in order to do the things that you're talking about, because not all drones are compatible with you're discussing, and the importance of actually not only taking the class to learn how to operate them correctly, because they can be lethal, deadly. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, number one, and number two, I mean, honestly, number two is what, go into detail about the FAA certifications. And number three, explain, I go to Target and I buy a drone. What's the difference in what I do buying it at Target or what we offer at our school?
And number four, if I did get a drone, would I be able to do this? Here's my question.
Uh-oh.
Do I need a FAA Part 107, Mr. Barnhart?
Fly one of these? No, not for this. You would need a real sport pilot license to make this happen. The FAA certification is only for aircraft that are under the weight of 55 pounds. So I'm pretty sure, and unmanned is anything that you cannot operate from inside or on top of, which you would definitely be doing this, operating this, with all your retirement fund. So the FAA certification is basically designed to ensure safe airspace. And so the important thing about getting it is that you cannot make any money using or flying a drone, using a drone, unless you have the certification. What we go into when it comes to the certification is making sure that everyone understands that if I add a camera to the front of this drone, it's going to make it way more in the front and it's going to make it unstable. It's likely that it will crash. If my propellers are cracked, it's likely that it will crash. So you learn the physics of flight, how these aircraft actually work, so you know how to prevent accidents. We also go into regulations. How high can I fly? Can I fly at 600 feet without getting in trouble? No, well, you can't. You can only fly up to 400 feet. Can I fly next to a border? No. Some people near the school figured that out when they flew near the Ambassador Bridge, and the Border Patrol came, trying to find out who's flying this drone right next to the Ambassador Bridge and international borders. So that's why it's important to have this certification, and then understanding how weather affects drone flight, because you may need to fly near an airport and you need to know, who do I contact regarding this airport in order to fly, and what information am I getting from air traffic control in regards to weather, and how do I interpret that weather information so I know if it's safe for me to fly.
Okay, so just to touch on a couple of points of what you said, Cody, you said, they were going to get in trouble, right? What are the repercussions? Let's just talk about the repercussions of, God forbid, an accident happening, or, flying over international borders. What can happen to that person, number one? And maybe you should also elaborate on, so what jobs can people get from these certifications? Whether it's just entry level or it's more advanced.
Well, you can get in a lot of trouble. I know that somebody from, reading an article got in trouble and had to go to court because they were flying over a prison. So knowing that, hey, if I'm near this prison, I cannot fly near it. And, the gentleman that got in trouble did not know and did not have any negative, he wasn't trying to do anything that should have gotten him in trouble. He just got caught doing it. So that's why it is important. Right there, FAA fines drone pilot $182,000. I mean, the things. If you could also get sued if you crash your drone into another object.
Stop.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Stop. Wait. Do not let that pass. Did you say that if I don't have my Part 107 as possible, that I could get fined 182 smackaroos?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
182K?
So it's a good idea to make sure you get your certification. It protects you and it protects everyone else. knowing when you can fly and when you can't is important. The reason the wildfires are such a big thing when it comes to drones is that amateur pilots without their certification were flying near the actual wildfires in California, and were getting in the way of the aircraft that were attempting to put out this fire. So, you know, it was grounding the aircraft that were there to fight the fire, and people were getting fined and in a lot of trouble for it.
I mean, here's a very simple thought. I mean, we all went to driver's ed for a reason.
Right.
Once upon a time. You want to fly a drone? Learn how to do it properly. It's
Exactly.
just that simple. As technology evolves, you have to learn how to do it the proper way. You just can't go to a Target or Walmart or Best Buy, buy a drone and say, oh, hey, I want to fly it. We couldn't just buy a car when we were teenagers and say, hey, I want to drive a car without going to driver's ed. We get pulled over.
Exactly.
We don't have our proper permit or license. We get fined. We go to jail.
Hold on now. Hold on. Now, when I was young, we didn't have seat belts and we didn't have licenses. I'm just saying.
Maybe in Arkansas.
Things evolve, Carlos.
The Target drones, I don't recommend that flying those drones anyway. As soon as I took off with one of those cheap drones that flew right into my apartment building, you know, it says that it has this technology, but it really does not. I've been flying drones for a long time, and I definitely crashed it within 2 minutes. So
see, this is why you look at an institution such as DSDT to learn about flying drones the proper way, what drones to even look at before you even make that purchase.
Right. Why waste your money on something that's not going to do anything for you? And when it comes to careers, I know a lot of people that are flying drones for real estate. It's a huge market. The drone, I used to live up in Midland, Michigan, and it was against the rules for the Realtors Association to actually use drones to take pictures of these properties because they thought it was an unfair advantage. Once that ban dropped, the drone industry got really big up there because, you know, they were denied for so long. Now they're going to be doing it. And I know people who their entire job, making quite a bit of money, are just going out and getting drone footage of different properties. So you can make a really good, one guy has 3 employees doing it for him.
So, you know, we talked about real estate with drones and we talked about like the wildfires, right? So for me, of course, my perspective is I love anything CSI, Crime Files, Crime 360. You know, have you heard anything, or do you know of anything, Cody, like moving forward, using those drones? Like, I don't know if you guys remember the DC sniper. Remember back in early 2000s, how Washington, DC, there was like 13 people, 10 were killed, 13 were injured, and there was a sniper going around for 3 weeks until they caught him. Is this something that can be used by drones in the future where we are catching criminals, or, you know, we're doing, you know, investigative things with taking it to the next level, you know?
Right. It is happening. I was talked to by the Cleveland Police Department because they were interested in starting a drone program or getting some education in drones, because it is much easier to send a drone out and look for a target, or not a target, a suspect, I would say. It's also being used in search and rescue quite a bit. There's really good 8K cameras with FLIR technology or heat thermal technology that can find these missing individuals, and they're being used every time there's a missing persons case. Another thing that I talked to Carlos about earlier is the Airspace Link, which is a Detroit-based company, is now working with another organization to try to develop ways to transport medical devices and on a quick basis, or even human organs for transplant for donors. So this is a Detroit-based company that is working to do this, which I think is wonderful for Detroit and for the future of medicine. It's so difficult to get things where they need to go when it comes to saving someone's life. So
I have a question either for Lisa or for Carlos. As far as job placement, are you having conversations with people who are in the first responder industry, as far as law enforcement, medical institutions, things of that nature, to help people who come to your institution get those kinds of jobs. Because as we're seeing drones used more for rescue missions, law enforcement situations, I can only imagine that police departments, hospitals, Coast Guard, etc., they're looking for people also, or looking for people who also have that kind of training to fly those drones, given those various situations.
Okay, so one of the first conversations I had here at the school, sorry, Lisa.
That's okay.
So I remember probably the very first conversation I had, the Department of Transportation wanted to hire some students. And what became of the conversation was that they realized that it was more involved than simply going out, flying the drone, and bringing back that footage. So not only did they have to have the skill set of the Part 107, but they also needed to have the film production skills. They needed to have some graphic skills. They need to have a whole litany of skill sets in order to package that material for whoever the potential client would be. So at the end of the day, are we talking specifically with drone companies that are looking for students in various fashions? Well, there's not as many as you would think. It's not it's not the ever extensive industry as it is, but there are so many opportunities for those who have the skill set to be able to take advantage of. For instance, I've had companies that were within the wedding industry who were looking for drone photographers. We were in communications for a long time. Actually, it was in a partnership with OCC, Oakland Community College, and they had a program in which they wanted to subsidize our drone technology program because they couldn't get the approval. So we worked with them for a while, and it was directly with their rescue efforts there on campus. I don't know if you guys have ever been to OCC, but OCC on campus, they have a big training facility for first responders. And so that was something that we did for a while. At the end of the day, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that drone technology, when we got the approval, is not what it is today, right? In the sense that there's so many ways to do unmanned, or I don't know how you would even term it, Cody, not necessarily having a human to control it, that it's almost getting to the point where the Part 107 is going to be like even debatable, right? Because there's so many industries now that are simply making all this autonomous. Cody, can you elaborate some on that?
Right. It's basically going to turn into coding. Flying a drone is going to turn into, I'm either going to code out the direction for this drone to take, or I'm going to plan it out on a map, and this code is going to be encoded into the instructions for that drone. And that's the way it's going with a lot of, almost everything when it comes to transportation, technology. We're using smaller and smaller technology with smarter and smarter engineers, and everything is going to the way of autonomous. I can say I need you to get from point A to point B, but I'm going to let that software decide how it's going to make that happen. With the Skydio 2, which is a new drone developed by MIT, the technology uses LiDAR looking in every direction. So it can fly through trees, around obstacles. They put it into a box, a large 10 by 10 box with a small hole, and ask the drone to fly to a certain location. It used its LiDAR to figure out how to get out of that box, fly around obstacles just to get to that location. So it's smart enough to do that right now. And it uses the same technology you use in your Oculus headset.
So I often try to explain it like this, right? When you have students that show up and say, "Oh, I just want to take your drone technology course." All right. Yeah, you can, right? Most definitely can take the course and you can get your Part 107. But I equate it to this. You have a tool belt, right? If you're a carpenter, you have a tool belt. In that tool belt, you have a hammer. You may have a measuring tape. You may have a few nails over here. having a drone technology Part 107 license is a tool in your tool belt. You know, it's not necessarily the belt, right? Because people show up, and it amazes me how in 2021 we still have people that just simply do not know it, you know. And so having that tool in your belt affords you opportunities that you may not have, such as the carpenter who shows up and doesn't have a hammer, right? Would you hire a guy who didn't have a hammer to complete anything at your house? No, I wouldn't, right? Because you need that hammer. Having the Part 107 allows you to be able to get those opportunities that you wouldn't have otherwise. You may want to do weddings, and I say weddings off the top of my head because the company that we had came in actually hired us, one of our students, Mari Soul. Here, go back and check it, right? So hired Mari Soul, but the wedding videographer, he charged $10,000 per wedding. I don't know about you guys, but where I come from, that's a lot of wedding, right? So, but just by having those type of licenses, if not for that, you wouldn't even have an opportunity to go and show your skill set and make the best of otherwise what others don't even have.
I have a recent student that's doing the wedding technology right now, and for an 8-minute video, I think it's $7,000 is what he's charging to just do a video. And you're right about having these multiple tools in the belt, because that's something that I use is the same software that I use to get that volume measurement of dirt. I can do the same thing to get a 3D model of a building. I can put that into a 3D modeling program and then recreate it or put it into another virtual environment. So having these different tools and this different knowledge can really get you to do incredible things.
Yeah, but having these tools and the knowledge means that you take multiple classes. And this is where I wanted to kind of comment. You know, our students seem to want to scapegoat, I'll use that word, out of learning the already short programs that we have to offer. You know, a lot of people are willing to go and study at Michigan State University for 4 years, get a master's degree or a bachelor's degree in something that they don't utilize, that they don't even like, but then they want to take a 1-month program or a 3-month program with us and think that they're going to go out there and, you know, own the real estate. You know, I mean, there's a realistic approach to everything. And right now our programs are between 1 month and 1 year. So if somebody thinks that they're going to land the best job in 1 month as opposed to doing the 1 year, they're out of their mind. I mean, it's a 1 year or a 6 month or, you know, a 7.5 month commitment, which is nothing in the big scheme of things. And then Cody, I think you should elaborate, you know, not just in Detroit, but let's start there. You know, you are amazing at what you do and teaching this class and explaining all of the ins and outs of flying this drone and the certifications that you need. You know, what other competition does DSDT have? There are no other programs that are like this in the city of Detroit, in the state of Michigan, or likewise throughout the U.S.
I completely agree. There are a lot of online video type courses that will give you, you know, just videos basically. In the course, I go through and I actually give assignments, make sure people are understanding. I'm working with people throughout the entire course to make sure people have an understanding, and then going out and getting the hands-on training that I think is really important. You don't want to go out to a new job never having flown a drone and expect to do a good job. So getting that hands-on experience is really awesome.
Can we expect to see machine learning as part of DSDT curriculum?
Well, what machine? First of all, what machines are they talking
go ahead, Lisa.
I was going to say, what machines are they talking about? Are they talking about like your construction jobs? Is that what they're saying?
No.
Basically programming language, right?
So, machine learning takes everything that you feed a computer a bunch of information, like you tell a computer, this is all of Beethoven's symphonies, and then using that data that the computer collects, it's able to produce. They just produced the 10th symphony from Beethoven, all using machine learning and AI type situations.
Right. Oh, so that's basically like production in a different form. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So do we expect to see it anytime soon? No. No, it's not at the top of the radar. But I will tell you that in the coming months, we do have 2 programs that we plan to roll out. One being broadcast digital media, and the other being, we'll get into it later. We will get into it. I know Josh says that he hates when I do that, but we're going to be getting into some blockchain full stack development. So those are the 2 programs that we're looking at doing in the upcoming quarter.
And
All
you know,
right.
I think too, you guys. I think, you know, with all of us discussing this right now, and where our world is going and the technology that it is, you know, people don't know what they don't know. I love that expression. You know, if they're coming to us and they're saying, "Hey, this is what I want," if they don't understand the full concept of it, it takes all of us to explain it. Also, getting the word out. You know, I have to say to you guys, all of us need to be doing that. Josh, you need to do that. Cody, you need to do that. You know, when I'm out in the field or wherever I'm at, I talk about our school and I say, this is what we offer. And no, you can't just think you're going to get it done in a month. You know, I got to tell you the story real quick. So I was talking to one of our, like a potential student, and I said to him, you know, he's like, I'm really interested in IT, but, you know, I took a class. And I said, oh, okay, well, tell me what you did. And he said, well, I took the online class and I got my certification in A plus, Net plus, Security plus. I go, okay, so where are you working? He goes, I'm not. I failed it and I don't understand what the heck's happening. I go, so what you're saying to me is that you need to take it again. And he's like, yeah, I'm definitely saying that to you. So I think that it's all about, you know, if these people don't know what they don't know, they can go online and they can take, you know, their CompTIAs. It doesn't mean that they're going to pass them or that they know any of the pertinent information to land the job, to operate whatever it is that they need to operate or to do what they need to do. And I think that we as a school have to explain what it is that we really do. We arm those people with the tools, Karlos, like you said. And they have every tool. Without those tools, they can't complete the task. So without those classes, they can't complete everything else.
I agree wholeheartedly, Lisa, wholeheartedly. So this is the time where we're going to say that we need to take a break to pay some bills around here. And once we pay these bills, we're going to come back and we're going to have a discussion about the top technologies that we believe you should be learning in 2022. Don't pay a mind to my cyborg mask, but we'll be right back after this message.
Right now, there are job opportunities in the tech industry we can train you for. In our newly renovated state-of-the-art facility, classes are beginning monthly in cybersecurity, drone technology, digital marketing, computer programming, film production, and many, many others. If you live in the Metro Detroit area and you're looking to learn a skill local employers are demanding, but one that isn't that of a laborer, at DSDT, you can learn a lot in less than a year.
Hello, I'm Jason Stemmer. I served 5 years as a combat engineer in the United States Army. In the summer of 2019, I joined DSDT to learn advancing technologies in computer support, networking, cybersecurity, many valuable tools in digital media. DSDT is partnered with a lot of veteran-friendly employers, and with the help of DSDT's job placement assistance, I was able to quickly begin work in the IT field. I'm very pleased with this direction, as there is unlimited potential in the technology field, with no signs of growth or demand ever slowing. So come in for a visit, take a tour, and schedule a meeting with an advisor. DSDT really changed my life for the better, and it can change yours.
At a Detroit School for Digital Technology, we strive to provide students who are willing to learn new and exciting skill sets with a quality education in cutting-edge film technology to include recording in HD and 4K formats, drone videography, editing, and state-of-the-art color grading. Our instructors are friendly, knowledgeable industry professionals who are willing to teach. For more information, call us at 313-263-4200 or visit us on the web at dsdt.tech.
All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm Josh, joined by Lisa, Cody, and Podcast man.
Podcast man is his name. How's everybody seeming to? I can't hold on. I can't see where. Hold on. This is I can't. Oh, there you guys are. Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
hello.
All right. So we want to talk about some of the technologies that we foresee in the year 2022. Can you believe already it's 2022?
Huh. In
Right.
2 years.
What a year it has been.
Yeah.
But we definitely don't want to allow this year to pass without discussing, at least on this podcast, some of the technology that's becoming more mainstream. And you guys really have alluded to, I thought, was very pertinent points in regards to, some of us are, we have that asphyxiation with going out to malls. What's happening with that? Now we're shopping online even more so, will we need licenses as we continue to travel the technology sphere? I mean, there's just so many things that I believe in the years shorter than longer to come that we're going to see some drastic changes in the way that we as humans operate on our daily lives. And we've already seen that, right? So who would have thought, just, I don't know, 2.5 years ago that we would have spent so much time in these virtual environments, Zoom, Google Link, Google Meets, Teams. I still don't even use Teams that much, but still, right? So the technologies are becoming more and more adopted, and there are definitely a number of them that we should be discussing. All right. So the first one on our list today, let's get into it. First one on our list we have is my glasses keep falling. We're talking about, has anybody ever heard of this?
On
Anybody
television,
ever
I've
heard
heard
of
the metaverse.
the metaverse?
Okay, I only recall hearing about it on the show Flash that airs on the CW. I'm like, okay, the metaverse, whatever that is, just some TV show stuff. And then Facebook changes its name to the metaverse.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of like hidden a lot of it in various points. So, and the reason I'm in this conversation right now is because I find it all so fascinating. Fascinating. So the reason I even have this Oculus is because of Facebook. Of course, Facebook makes it, right? And I remember my son, even 3 years ago, he's a big gamer, and he was home, and every evening that would be his things. He plays these games. Will you stop playing games and go get a job? You know what I'm saying?
Get a job.
But now I'm like, he was on to something, because the world that Meta is proposing incorporates our being able to actually work within it. And the gamers have been doing something akin to it for years now. 4 years. So I've been experimenting with this environment, and I tell you, I am blown away. I am blown away at the experiences that you can now have within Facebook's metaverses. Now, metaverse isn't necessarily just a one-dimensional or a one company owned type of experience. There are others. Actually, there's a lot of others. But the one thing that I like about Facebook is that they've taken the social component. You know how some of us, not necessarily me, but some of us cannot go a day without checking Facebook, without checking Instagram, Snapchat, whatever your favorite might be. They've taken that social connection part of it, and they've built an environment to where they're talking. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Web 3.0, right? So we're going to go from the Web 2.0. Web 2.0 is basically as we're doing now. We watch it, right? We watch it, we learn from it. But the web that is to come it will be one where we will operate within it. Big difference. Big difference. And the first time that you put on an Oculus and the first time you experience virtual reality, don't get me wrong, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. I mean, my mom to this day still refuses to get on Facebook, right? I just went over yesterday and put up a flat screen TV for her. She still had one of the CRTs from the 1970s. I'm just saying, keeping it real, okay? But when you're talking about being able to go into an experience that is unlike anything that you've ever had before, it changes the whole paradigm. Case in point, the first experience that I had, I went into the tutorials and there's a part in where they have you take your controller and the controller actually becomes your hands within the environment. So you take your hands and you pick up an airplane, a paper airplane, and you throw it. I literally almost cried. I almost cried. And I almost cried because I was taken back to when I was a little boy in Arkansas, and my uncles used to make me these little paper airplanes, and I'd go out all day long flying them. That is what Facebook is banking on, that we're going to become more socially connected in, and it's going to change and revolutionize our lives on a daily basis.
Whew. Dude, here we come.
Yeah, well, you got to think year 22. How about it's already being done, right? And the reason why it's even more important that we have conversations like this is because our communities don't know. They don't know, right? Here we are. We're still talking about drone technology. Drone technology, we've had that license, the ability to train since 2015 for. Here we are in 2000 and almost 22, and we're still talking about the same thing that we've been doing for 7 years now, right? Well, there's a new big brother on the block, and the big brother needs to have more attention brought to it. It's kind of what Lisa was alluding to earlier in regards to the school. You know, everywhere we go, we should be talking about this. It's almost as if we become evangelists, if you will. If you don't know what it is, then you have to introduce yourself to it. And it may not be for you. It may not be for you. You know, there's people that still want to stay off the grid and they don't want a cell phone, even though I have, you know, the 12 Pro Max and I think I need a screen that's actually bigger than it. You know, but there's people that still don't want that. There's some that do well with what we call an Obama phone. And then there's some who just prefer not to have a cell phone. And I get it. But at the same time, there's a world of technology going on around us. And those of us that love the early adaptations, we should be taking an ear to it as opposed to simply allowing it to bypass us. Facebook, they started this platform called Horizons. Horizons is now after they've done the Meta release. All right. So, and in case you don't understand what Meta is, let me kind of explain this to you. Meta is the name of the company figurehead. It's not Facebook, right? Facebook, Oculus, WhatsApp, Instagram, they all fall under the parent company, Meta. So that we don't, you know, keep getting that misunderstood. Well, Meta now has platforms called Horizons. There's Horizons venues, there's Horizons workrooms, there's Horizons worlds. They just released from beta in the United States in the last few days the Horizon Worlds. And what Horizon Worlds allows you to do is to be able to go into their metaverse to create these various experiences. If you're under the sound of my voice, and I'm not just talking about the host here, you have to get involved because this is the early stage. A lot of you guys, and I just say for what it is, a lot of you guys don't remember the days of AOL. A lot of you guys don't remember the dial-up tones that you would get when you would go into the chat room. I do.
I do.
Maybe Lisa does.
I
right?
do.
You don't hear those things anymore. Well, guess what? What Facebook and other companies are doing with the metaverse, they are the gateways to the internet as it's to become in the next 5 to 10 years. Get involved now. I can't say it enough. Get involved now so you're an early adapter. You understand it. And somebody would say, well, being a developer, I don't know how to code. You don't have to know how to code. Right. And that's to me, the greatest thing about the tools that they're making, because they're making it from a pragmatic understanding. They want more people in the community to begin to build and to develop these experiences so that everybody has an opportunity, and not just Cody, because he's taught himself how to do all of these wonderful things alongside of taking the actual classes. But some of us people, we just want to have the tools to see that we can create too, so that we are a part of the next evolution, because that's what it's about.
Yeah, you had said too, Karlos, you had wanted to talk about, what is the most popular thing that we need to start learning or preparing for in 2022. But I want you guys to just think about this. So a couple things, and I don't know how to even get it all out because it's so much in my head. So I don't know if you all know this, but every 3 days, our entire national power grid is cyber attacked. So let me just say this out loud. If we don't have a generator and I don't have power and I don't have water and I don't have anything, what happens to Lisa when she doesn't have water or has no food or anything else? The whole world is going to shut down. That's how important power is, right? So if you are that person that can actually, and by the way, might I add that all of the attacks are happening online. Everything is online. Okay, everything. I'm down here in Florida, and there is this cute little square, where everybody does events and everything. There is a bus, a little metro bus. Do you think that there's a human inside of it running it? No, but they are running it from behind a booth over in the back corner. So if you don't know how to run that booth, you don't need to be in it to drive the vehicle. You need to operate it because of information technology. Every single thing, aside from a couple things that I can think of, is shopping at a dollar store or some sort of store like that, or owning a restaurant, are the only things that we have left where information technology is less required. It's still required, but less required. If these people or our world does not start jumping on board with everything we've all talked about, we as humans are going to become null and void soon. We're null and void. We can already make them. I can literally start a business, hire somebody on Upwork, hire somebody on Fiverr. I can hire somebody. I don't need anybody. I need no human beings other than the ones that are online across the country or across the world to build my business for me. That's scary. It's scary when you guys think about that. We don't really need each other the way that we used to, right? The only thing
hence the metaverse.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, right? I am saying that, and I'm saying that because we have already we have already seen, because of the pandemic, that we don't need to be as engaged in a physical space with each other as we previously thought. That has made all these tools even more come to front and center. Now again, and I can't reiterate enough. I'm sorry, Lisa, but I can't reiterate enough. I know that it's not going to be for everybody. Information technology is not for everybody. Drone technology is not for everybody, right? But for those that are interested in it, by all means, the time is now.
Right. And so wait, I have to interrupt you and tell you this. Information technology, maybe not all of it is for everybody, but pieces of it should be for everybody. Pieces of production should be for everybody. The pieces and what we teach and what we educate on, the little pieces of every class that we teach or what we offer is for everybody if they want to survive in what we call the world of 2022. Period.
Okay, so Lisa, let me say this to you. So, and I hear 100%, right? I hear everything, and I agree to this point, right? And the reason I say it's not for everybody, last evening, my mother, who's 65, I think she's 65 years old,
and she's fabulous.
I went over to set up a flat screen television that I bought her 3 or 4 Christmases ago, right? Like I said, the CRT. Do you know I left and I literally was 4 exit away, and she called me and she said, I can't turn the television down. I said, what? She says, I can't turn the television down. I need you to come back because it's way too loud. So I'm like, Ma, are you serious? I got to turn around and come back to turn the television down. She was like, yeah, you got to come back. So my point being is that there are still a lot of people in the world that don't know how and don't want to know how your information technology and anything dealing with technology works. They're fine as they are, right? And that's okay. That's okay. All that means is that the world around them will continue to operate without them until some point when they have to engage with it. Prime situation for myself. I remember the days I didn't operate with banks. I wouldn't put money in a bank to save my life until the day that I needed a business account and the clerk said to me, I don't even understand how you operated this long without a bank. Who does that? Then I thought, well, dang, I've been living in a vacuum in a silo all these years. I just thought that this was the way it was done.
Well, it's going back to that way. So you were onto something, Carlos. Let me just tell you guys right now, if you have a bank account, you should keep less than 10% of your funds in it. And the rest of it should be in silver and gold, because that's where money isn't going, because paper money is worth nothing. And that's a whole nother story and a whole nother show. But I just wanted to, you were onto something back then. But my whole point is, after everything that we've talked about today and all the technology that we need, here's something that is what's keeping our school in business and thriving today. Because no matter what people learn or what they want to do, if they don't learn from a physical person like Cody, where there's education and it's being explained to them in detail, they're debilitated. They can go online and take all the CompTIA tests they want, and yet they still all fail. They don't pass. They don't understand it. So our school is ever thriving because we give the education for them to go off and be able to do what is 2022. Oh, that rhymed.
Ooh.
So and that's what keeps us going as a school. We are not at the point right now where we can be taken over, or what's the word I'm trying to find? We are not, we're needed. We are not, what's the word, you guys? Like,
you're relevant.
oh, thank you. We're relevant. We're not irrelevant. Thanks, Josh. I couldn't think of it.
Right. And I agree 100%. And we'll always be to a great degree. And Lisa kind of alluded to this one as well, right? So Lisa was saying that, you having money in a bank, only keep 10% of it. Mm-hmm. There's this thing called cryptocurrency. Everybody's heard about it.
Everyone.
Right? Everybody's heard about Bitcoin. I say that. See, now I'm questioning myself, right? I keep saying everybody, and everybody has it, right? So there's a new coin that's called Flow. And Flow, for those who are kind of in the know, was built by Dapper Labs. But Dapper Labs were responsible for what's called the CryptoPunks. CryptoPunks, if you're familiar with NFTs, they were some of the pioneers in the industry. And if you have a CryptoPunk NFT, it probably goes for upwards of millions of dollars, right? And so the problems that they had, though, is they built the first productions of these NFTs was that it was built on what's called the Ethereum blockchain. The Ethereum blockchain was the second blockchain built after Bitcoin. The difference was that Ethereum is built with contracts in it. So therefore, it made the perfect application of sorts for these NFTs that came about. But the problem that Dapper Labs had was that they weren't able to scale the production. So they ran into complications with Ethereum, and so they developed their own blockchain called Flow. To me, Flow is more suited for many of the apps that we will see to evolve in 2022. The greatest thing that I love about Flow is that it's not as finite as a Bitcoin. It has more opportunities for development for those ideas. For instance, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of NBA Top Shot. NBA
Yes.
Top Shot was built on flow, right? Dr. Seuss has a collection that is coming out now, and it's going to be built on flow as well. So they're beginning to lead the market, as well as OpenSea is now beginning to transfer a lot of their assets over to flow as well. So flow is the platform, flow is the coin, and the language that it's written in is cadence. So all of those things are important. It's even more so important because ultimately in the year to come, we will have a blockchain full stack development program at DSDT. One of the great things about what we do as we had drone technology in the year 2015, it's like we love to be the forerunners. And if there's any competition that's listening to us now, you can mark my words because I'm here to tell you that we're going to do it. Our community needs access to the information, to the tools in order to be able to compete. I don't think that it's right for us to continue say that you have to go to school for 4 years in order to get the education to compete. It's not fair. And in fact, as long as you get with an instructor like a Cody, right, who's an industry leader, who's also doing the job every day as he's instructing, then by far you will be heads and shoulders above the rest that are competing for the same opportunities. And so that's what I love to be able to afford our students as they enroll and continue to enroll in DSDT.
And the other piece to that is everybody, again, I want to stress this, DSDT, right? We're right behind the Ford train station. Everybody knows what the Ford train station is. Everybody knows who runs Detroit and owns all the property. Everybody knows everything about Detroit, but yet no one knows about DSDT. And that needs to change. That's it.
Okay.
Period.
So, one of the so I'll give it one of these right here. Give it one of them. Give it one of them, right? I started giving one of these. Okay, so the last, well, not the last, but another technology that I'd like to bring as we're anticipating what's to come in the year 2022. You guys know what neural links are?
I've heard of them.
Neural links. All right, so there's a company that makes this device called Next Mind. And so the device, it actually connects to your skull. It allows you to interface with a device. When I say a device, more or less computer-driven device, your Alexa, your computer, and simply by your thought processes, it does whatever you are focused on doing.
That's
I find that absolutely amazing.
And petrifying at the same time.
I'm a little scared of that one.
Yeah.
All right, so where are we? Here, let me add this to the screen so you guys can kind of like without sound. This is the device in action. All right, we put it on. You know, some of our heads are a little more adapted to this device, and the device then allows us to dial our phone. Turn off the light. Right? So these are the types of things. I don't know about you guys, whether you've heard of this before this point, but in 2022, this is something that we all should have at the forefront of our minds if we've never heard of them. Right? And we should make ourselves acquainted with them, because I don't know about you, but I love to be able to walk into a room and not have to say, Alexa, turn the lights off.
Good point.
Right? I just walk into the room and just think it, and bam,
lights come on.
Lights on, you know? And what do you know? Who would have known this? This is already being done. This device goes for roughly about $400, 400 United States dollars. And
where can it be purchased? Do we know where it can be purchased yet?
Online, of course.
Okay.
Right? It's still in its developmental stages. These are just some basic functionalities of it. I was watching other video content on it, and I was blown away. Here we are. We're talking about blockchain development. Someone earlier said about machine learning. We're talking about cryptocurrency and the metaverse, and we can talk all we would love to about some of the technology that most of our community is still trying to adapt to. But at the end of the day, there's conversations that are being had on a greater and grander scale about things that we need to know about today. Otherwise, we'll look up, and we've been trying to train individuals. We still got individuals who don't even have Gmail accounts.
What?
Well,
There should be
Lisa, listen.
They use Google a lot.
Right. I'm just the neighborhood reporter.
Yeah.
Right. I am not the guy to tell you how it happened. I'm just reporting the news. Right. I've been hanging around Josh too much. So, but yet and still doesn't mean that they should be counted out the equation. All the more reason why us having the conversation about some of these technologies is important to connect our community with what's to come. And even more so, I'll do you one step further, the way that I think. Our students have already been introduced in great forms to some of the variances of the technology. The metaverse. The metaverse is simply graphic design on a higher scale. It really is. NFTs, graphic design on a higher scale, right? So if our students who took courses at DSDT as a part of the digital media program, as a part of film production, we discussed weeks ago, content is king. And that's all the more reason why a Meta makes available to developers the opportunity to create content. That's all that it is. It's content. And we already have a foothold on a lot of that. We just need to be introduced to it. How does it work? And how can I get in today as opposed to 5 years from now?
Well thought. Well, we know our friend Cody, speaking of teaching at DSDT, he has to get going and teach the future drone flyers, etc. of tomorrow. So Cody, we'll let you get to it, my friend. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Cody. I appreciate Cody most definitely.
Oh yeah, good man.
And since Cody is gone, why don't we close out with the last technology? I thought even more was important that we brought to the forefront. And I know for a fact that, Josh, hands down about this will continue to be a technology that a lot of those who are listening to us and following us should gravitate towards more. Lisa alluded to it earlier, right? The fact that more people don't know about DSDT is simple. We need to do a better job when it comes to digital media, with advertising, with telling the story. And there's many outlets now that allow us to do it, not just necessarily through television and radio and newspaper, the traditional outlets, but even more so, this podcast by far is one of the best that we could have come with. Then we've done digital banners, and then there's advertising, our social media. So there's many different forms, and still it amazes me that individuals are not engaging on a daily basis with these opportunities to tell the stories. And so in 2022, just as every other great company does, even though Facebook came out and said that they were becoming, or the parent company was becoming Meta, you can guarantee they have a Twitter account, they have a LinkedIn account, they have, an Instagram profile, they have all these channels to be able to continue to cipher that message out there. And if you don't have one, if you don't understand what they're about, then you too should enroll into a DSDT class so that we can teach you and get you prepared for today rather than being left behind in years to come.
Do not miss the bus. Digital bus.
Absolutely.
Digital bus. Everything that we look at, every advertisement on our computer, every advertisement on TV, everywhere we turn, the advertisement that we have for our podcast, it's all digital. Everything. All movies are being made digital. Makeup artists are almost null and void at this point. Everything is digital. Everybody needs it, and everybody needs to learn how to do it.
That's right. Well said, Lisa. Well said.
Yes. Well, Lisa, it is great to have you back, my friend.
Thank you,
Great
Josh, my friend.
Yes, great conversation. Karlos, always a pleasure. Any New Year's resolutions before we wrap up?
No, I made my resolution. I live in the place that I love. I'm happy. I'm building my business. I mean, life is the best it's ever been for me, really. I have no more. Yes, I want to get to know God a little bit more. So if I could say that I will tell you this. A couple things in the past few months have really made me realize that if we're on this earth for what is really a millisecond, honestly, I want to spend the rest of my eternity somewhere really nice. So I need to stop working with God part-time and being more of a full-time believer. I need to talk to him more. I need to read the Bible more, and I'm going to start doing that. That's my resolution.
All right. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Okay, Lisa. All right. Well, let me take a page out of Lisa's book real quick.
Okay.
My experiences over the last few weeks with this whole technology explosion, with this metaverse and things that are coming to forefront, it puts me in the mind that we as human beings have reached that point in our advancement where we're still chasing the God factor. We still even more want to be gods. Right. I was in a experience this morning, and there was writing on the wall from an instructor that was explaining about the metaverse. And as I was standing there reading it, I was like, if human existence lasted for another millennium, this would be here. Wow. You know, it's we're searching for these experiences outside of this body, this human experiences, and it continues. And as we've come within ourselves, we now realize that we can continue to do exactly what we've been doing in the experience for a great time, and that's simply create. We've just found another tool to be able to create in these experiences. I love them, I welcome them, and I'm itching to see where it all leads us.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Well, guys, much more to come in 2022. Much more to come. All right.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, yeah, Merry Christmas. Josh, before we leave, tell us what your resolution is besides you're going to go to the gym more often.
To elevate everything in my life, both professionally and personally.
Nice.
I like that.
Growth. It's all about growth.
It is.
I like that. Well, I like that. So pretty soon, I won't be the smartest person in the room anymore.
Oh, you cracked yourself up.
Right.
All right. Well, for Lisa, for Karlos, I'm Josh. This is the Tech School Podcast powered by DSDT. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. See ya.
See ya.